Hello everyone, my name is Kyle Bevins, and my topic for Kinesiology 443 is meditation and visualization in sport. So to introduce the two topics of visualization and meditation, Gold says that visualization and meditation are examples of cognitive anxiety reduction strategies. Athletes are routinely placed under a large amount of stress, both physically and mentally, and this applies to really all athletes at any level, whether that be athletes in a Pee Wee football league to elite level basketball and soccer players. It really applies physically and mentally to all levels, as there's a lot of motor learning going on and everything, and even more so with high school and college athletes because they have school to deal with a lot of the times. So visualization techniques have been shown to be beneficial to athletes to combat and use this stress to their advantage. And so has meditation. They really can mitigate and use stress and even increase their physiological health that they would see from apart from their sport. Visualization in sport. According to Moran, visualization refers to the systematic use of mental imagery to rehearse physical actions. Elite athletes such as Tiger Woods in golf, Ronaldinho in soccer, and Michael Phelps in swimming have been known to use visualization in their respective sports. And some of the forms of visualization that I'm going to talk about in this presentation are mental imagery and rehearsal, as well as trigger words and self-talk. So the first form of visualization that I'm going to talk about in this presentation is mental imagery and rehearsal. Mental imagery is the ability to mentally portray an action without perception, that is, seeing it, hearing it, or even in some instances, feeling it. The purpose of mental imagery is to enhance and learn a particular skill or movement pattern, help an athlete recover from a mistake they may have made on a previous play or competition, help the athlete mentally prepare for competition, as well as anxiety management. Some examples of mental imagery and rehearsal would be picturing a play, movement, or lift before it happens. And there are two types of mental imagery. That would be general imagery and specific imagery. General imagery would be imagining competing a play or a competition well or with confidence. And specific imagery would be imagining a particular skill. And there is some variations between elite athletes and non-elite athletes with how they visualize certain things. So elite athletes typically have clearer, more vivid visualizations, and they also tend to picture themselves in the mental image. And they also, when they visualize, the length of the visualization corresponds almost exactly with the length that it takes them to do whatever task they are visualizing. And non-elite athletes, their visualizations may not be very clear, they may be foggy. They oftentimes do not depict themselves in performing whatever action they're visualizing. And the length of their visualization really varies a lot of the times. And I do have some experience with visualization and mental imagery. Back in high school when I played football and when I powerlifted, I would use visualization for football to visualize certain plays that we would be going over before they would happen. And for powerlifting, our coaches would really try to coach us and work with us on mental imagery, and they really wanted us to oftentimes take a step back both in the weight room and competing at different meets and really visualize the lift we were about to do and do it correctly and perfectly and with ease. And they really wanted us to put ourselves doing that action and really just hitting all the good points of each of the three lifts of powerlifting. And I still use it to this day. I think it works pretty well. I use it most oftentimes in the gym when I'm training really heavy, going for near max lifts or trying to even go for new PRs. I find it works very well for me to do that, especially when, like I said, with elite athletes, though I'm nowhere near an elite athlete, but I try to visualize it very clearly a few times I try to picture myself doing the lift, and with all my surroundings that are around me, have that visualized as well. And I try to do this a couple of times before I do a heavy lift, and I find it works very well. So with that being said, I'm going to move on and talk about trigger words and self-talk. Trigger words and self-talk may help an athlete to stay focused, as well as to visualize difficult and important movement patterns and techniques in their sports. Trigger words and self-talk can be internally expressed, that is, said just to yourself or only in your mind where only you hear it, or they can be externally expressed and shout it out. An athlete that does that very often is Serena Williams. She does that in a lot of her tennis matches. If you've ever watched her on TV or even seen her play in person, she's very vocal. Trigger words and self-talk can also be positive and negative. Positive would be praise and well done, good job, like great play. Negative would be more like you idiot. That was a dumb play. And it's more trigger words and self-talk are more effective if they're short and concise, like just one or two word phrases, or even 3 words, but not any longer than that. And I think we really all have used trigger words and self-talk if we've ever played a sport, or even if not, just in any kind of setting, we all kind of use trigger words and self-talk to really motivate and to visualize ourselves and to really help us to stay focused on certain things. Like a golfer may say head down, or a tennis player may say stay low in their sport, and they really help us to stay in the game and to visualize certain specific movement patterns that we really need to remember in order to execute something perfectly and get the job done correctly and get a win or a good grade or whatever it is that you may be doing. But athletes use this, and it has been shown to be more beneficial to use positive self-talk, that praise aspect, like well done and good job, because most people just don't seem to respond too well to negative self-talk for whatever reason. Now, Serena Williams is an example of an elite athlete who uses negative self-talk occasionally. She does it quite often, in fact, and she actually responds very well. But most elite athletes and even non-elite athletes have been shown to respond better to positive self-talk. And another elite athlete that has been known to use trigger words and self-talk is Tiger Woods. So that's all I had for visualization in sport. Now I'm going to shift gears and talk about meditation in sport. Meditation has been used for thousands of years to create cognitive, neurological, and physiological benefits. Today, the most often uses of meditation is to combat stress, which is a prevalent aspect of sports and competition, as well as increase and to maintain health. Now, all the meditation variations that I have researched utilize breathing techniques to really relieve stress and anxiety of whoever may be practicing them. And they also seem to have a positive effect on the mind-body connection and really allowing the person to get more in tune and in touch with what's going on in and on their body. However, the only forms of meditation I'm going to mention in this presentation are yoga and Tai Chi. So the first meditation technique that I will talk about is yoga. And yoga dates back to more than 5,000 BC, and it most likely originated in or around India. And its main purposes are to reduce anxiety and stress, possibly alleviate some health problems, and even improve health and stamina. The duration of yoga sessions can last anywhere from 20 minutes to 2 hours. And you really need that kind of time window to really start to see some of those benefits from the purposes section. And a yoga instructor is really beneficial for beginners, or because they really don't know what they're doing too much. They might have heard of it, but they've never really practiced yoga. So the instructor can really help to really get into more difficult positions, and the instructor can also help to set more of a meditative type state that yoga is known for. And an interesting thing about yoga and the medical field is that UCLA, as part of their common curriculum to train physicians, includes yoga instructing as part of their common curriculum. And I do have some experience with yoga. Back in high school, in PE, we would practice yoga occasionally, and it really helped. We would focus not so much on the meditative aspects of yoga, but more on the stretching components of it and really alleviating stress from the body. And I really find it worked very well to really relieve that stress and anxiety and really relax us. And almost to the point where I just want to take a nap right after, but I have to get back up and go to class. So I really find it does work very well, and there have been many athletes that have attested to using yoga to really see these benefits. The second form of meditation that I will touch on in this presentation is Tai Chi. Tai Chi is also known as Chinese shadow boxing, and it is believed to have begun in China around the 6th century BC. Tai Chi, in its most extreme and its most advanced form, is really a form of self-defense that is often seen in martial arts, which is really where Tai Chi is rooted. And you can really see that if you watch MMA athletes. They really use Tai Chi as one of their many forms of self-defense that they have. Tai Chi is reported also to have some cognitive and some health benefits. As far as cognitive benefits goes, it has been shown to lower levels of anxiety and stress. And as far as health benefits goes, it's been shown to have positive cardiovascular system benefits, immune system benefits, and arthritis. So much so that Tai Chi has been clinically shown in some studies to have a positive effect in blood pressure, in lowering blood pressure, systolic blood pressure, 7 millimeters of mercury in stage 1 and pre-hypertensive patients. And it has also been shown to decrease heart rate similar to what cardiovascular exercise would, without really putting much of a strain on the body. Shingles has also been shown to help boost the immune system in response to shingles, as shingles really comes about more often with stress. So Tai Chi helping to lower stress really helps that immune system. And Tai Chi helps our patients with arthritis as well. And those with rheumatoid arthritis, it may help to relieve stiffness in their joints. And in those with osteoarthritis, it may help to improve balance. And Tai Chi may be practiced. It can really be practiced by really anyone because it induces very minimal strain on the body and thus minimal risk while still producing very positive health benefits. And it would be a great place to start if you have someone who can't really get into that higher level of exercise. So to sort of tie up visualization and arousal together, each athlete has an optimal level of arousal at which he or she would like to compete. And that is often based on the sport of the athlete, the position in that sport, and the behavior and temperament of each athlete. Some evidence has linked attention to optimal levels of arousal, which may help to focus attention on task-relevant details in the environment of that athlete's sport. Now, an athlete can use imagery to incite arousal, such as imagining something that would make them mad or angry. And they can also use imagery to reduce levels of arousal and really help them to get into the mood and a more calming state. And meditation can help with that as well, as meditation really helps to relieve and mitigate anxiety and stress in the body. Though it's important to note that arousal does not necessarily equal anxiety. It's more correlated with stress, as we can see here in this graph. As stress level rises, so does arousal level. And if the athlete has good stress management skills, the stress will start to decrease, but arousal will continue to increase and the performance of the athlete will be better and more optimal. However, if the athlete has poor stress management skills, the athlete will reach a level of exhaustion that they had not experienced before, and they may even get sick. So it's important to really have a good handle on that, and athletes can really use imagery and meditation to mitigate stress and thus arousal to better compete. So just to reiterate what was said in this presentation, mental imagery and rehearsal, trigger words and self-talk, and meditation are all important aspects of sports psychology which help to regulate stress, focus the athlete, and put them in the right arousal state to perform. Performing these tasks can also have positive physiological effects alongside the more common psychological benefits that most people see. There is very little risk for any age group, which means that these aspects can be performed by anyone, especially visualization and Tai Chi. There's very minimal risk. There can be a higher level of risk with more advanced states of Tai Chi and yoga, and you should consult a physician with that, but as far as sports are concerned, we're not really worried about that. The athlete should be in optimal health and really won't see any kind of risk from these methods. And these are my sources.